The best of 3 final between TeamLiquid and Team Arthas. There's a lot of bad blood between the two teams. We're going to talk about that in just a bit, but this is definitely a series where both of them are going to give it their all, because there's not only the prize money on the line, there's a lot of prestige to be gathered here as well. They don't really like each other, and we're going to find out who is going to take it here today. We have TeamLiquid, of course, with the knowledge about how Arthas plays, and you could really tell in the picks and bans. A lot of people were very surprised, but it makes a lot of sense what TeamLiquid did here if you know how Arthas usually plays their game. So Arthas has to prove right now that they're solid enough to still take down a strong team like TeamLiquid when they didn't get their perfect composition. And we're going to find out on Garden of Terror, our first map, if they can do that. So guys, let's jump right into it. Without further ado, TeamLiquid going up against Arthas here in the Zotac Cup final in the best of 3 series. Alright everybody, welcome to the first game of the Zotac final. A very heated match between TeamLiquid and Arthas, the Russian team. The Spaniards against the Russians. Starting to the left side of Garden of Terror, our first map in this best of 3 series. We have Black Scorp on Illidan, Gran Paquete on Rhaegar, Lucifer on Material, Vortex on the Lost Vikings, and Falcon on Sergeant Hammer. To the right side of the map, it's Kuni-chan on Malfurion for Team Arthas. We have Seth Kaja on Zeratul, Unstable is playing Vala, Stalk Diablo, and Andy Lendy is playing Jaina. It's a bit of a grudge match between the two teams. There's a lot of bad blood between them. They faced each other in the relegation for the ESL Major League, and after massive internet problems for the Spanish team during the series, the match was several times postponed. There was a lot of problems since apparently one of the admins involved was Spanish, which is something that the Russian team took as offense. Then at the same time, when the match was postponed again and replayed without audience, without a cast, there were once again massive connection problems for the Spaniards. They had to play with 2 substitute players, and then during the last map lost even a 3rd player, so they had to finish the match with only 4 players, 1 bot. There's a lot of bad blood here. We had some problems going into this match as well, since the Spanish team wanted to only have an English caster in the game and no Russian caster, which was originally the idea. So you can already tell there's a lot of back and forth between the two of them right now. Just so that you know the story behind all of this, but let's focus at the play itself. Let's focus at what exactly is going on here. Right now we're having at the bot lane here on Garden of Terror, Falcon, Lucifer and Gran Paquete as the tri-lane for the Spanish team. TeamLiquid at this point is playing it with Tyrael, and the reason for this draft is actually quite simple. If you followed the Russian team, if you followed Arthas a little bit during the last few weeks, you know that one of their preferred combinations in the game is to go for Anubarak and Tyrael as their 2 initiators, because they have 2 blood for bloods. They try to round that up with Rhaegar and Vala for 4 blood for bloods in total on level 16. It's a very powerful comp that they play. This is one of the reasons why we saw Anubarak being banned out by TeamLiquid, and then also why they decided to go straight into Tyrael. Since with the ban on Anubarak, in the last few games where that happened, Arthur still decided to go into Tyrael and play the comp that very heavily focused on the initiation with Judgment. So in this case right now it's a bit of a different story. One of the reasons why that Tyrael initiation is also so strong is that Arthas kind of as a standard bans out Uther, one of the 2 heroes that has cleanse and can really work against it. But as you can see, that results in a pretty interesting comp for the two of them. And Tyrael is actually one of those characters that with Illigan together was played for a long time. I think the last team that played this in a competitive match was on the Sky Temple game, was well met. They won the game, if I'm not mistaken, or at least it was a very close one. It was a few weeks back. But yeah, there's a lot going on between them. What Arthas did to kind of counteract this entire dilemma was go into Zeratul and Diablo as their last picks, and that of course opens up a really nice setup with the Void Prism into Apocalypse. Kill against Olaf is the first one, so one of the Vikings is down. Vikings were the last hero that were taken by TeamLiquid, who have a bit of problem in the mid lane there, as Andy Lendy and Stalker moving straight in. But Vortex with those Vikings is actually really good. He's a former Warcraft 3 and Starcraft 2 pro player, and he is very good with his micro, macro and map awareness, and that's something that he will have to showcase here. So there's a lot on the line of both of the teams. The emotions are just like boiling over, and this is one of those games that both of them will want to win. So a very action-packed best of 3 series is probably ahead of us. We're having on the side of Tyrael now a bit of an adjustment to what Arthas usually plays with a hero. We have Arthas normally going for a full smite build. In this case, Lucifron is of course playing a Tyrael for TeamLiquid, and he decided to go into Amplify Healing on level 4, which is a bit more common since as a single healer, a single tank in the team, you want to rely on that extra healing quite a bit. Seeds are of course taken now on the Garden of Terror, 90 already on the side of TeamLiquid, and Arthas up at the top lane is trying to rival that count. We're having Black Scorp already there, but they are not fast enough, and here comes TeamLiquid with a full rotation, moving straight into that, and they are starting to dart in immediately upon Sefka, but Illidan is down. They get the counter kill against Zeratul though. Both of the melee assassins are dead, and now TeamLiquid is trying to get additional seeds, and they are already able to at least get a few. Oh, 2 of the players are stunned, and they're getting the rest of the seeds. Very well played by TeamLiquid here, able to get a plant right off the bat here, and denying roughly 31, actually exactly 31 seeds to their opponent. So that worked well for them here. Level 7 talents for both of them on the board, and we're having, oh, Falcon being attacked on Sergeant Hammer, but pushes the opponent away, dodges Kuni-chan's entangling route that he chose. We have on Zeratul with level 1 block and then gathering power into first aid, as we oftentimes see in this game. Right? Of course, once again on Jaina for the Russian team, we have as a level 4 talent not any kind of those trade enhancing talents, nor do we see the Blizzard talent here. Instead it is in Venom. They love to be aggressive with that, and they chose to do that once more. Regarding the builds on the left side for TeamLiquid, it's pretty much what we would expect with an Illidan build, with of course on level 1 Shadow Shield, Immolation, and then First Aid coming into play. A second First Aid on Sergeant Hammer, who didn't go for Resistant, even though we have a Malfurion with the Entangling Roots on the opponent's team, but instead Advanced Artillery and the Maelstrom Shells before the First Aid come into play. Down to the bot lane now, we have the Lost Vikings starting to soak the experience here. And currently we're having the Spaniards already with a bit of an advantage here. The Russians up to the top lane, they have to deal of course with Black Scorp on the plant, and Black Scorp is with the pot trying to drop at least the towers here and gain some additional experience for his team. And so far it's actually looking pretty good for them. Level 10 would be the dream. If they can hit that level soon, that would be amazing for them. Another pot already being dropped, and Sefkaje and Kuni-chan are forced to deal with that. And especially Zeratul is being forced back already. Level 10 is there, and there we have the longboat at the bot lane for the Vikings. We're seeing Metamorphosis, Ancestral Healing, Judgment, and Napalm used. The Napalm Strike, of course, very powerful on Sergeant Hammer, and especially later on allows him to just always go in, poke a little bit, and move back again. Olaf killed at the bot lane, apparently Stalk on his Diablo, supplying the damage together with Unstable, but still they do not have level 10, and that's of course a bit of an issue. Nearly level 11 thanks to that kill on the keep already for the Spanish team, and here comes Falcon in position. They're stealing the camps away. They're trying to steal the camps of Team Arthas, and they're getting the hard camp, moving straight into the easy camp now, taking this one, taking the Siege Giant camp, whereas at the bot lane we have Stalk and Unstable do the damage against at least one of the towers. But of course the mid lane is now being assailed, and that is where we are having the Spanish team trying to apply some pressure with those Siege Giants. The rotations are there, and they're already moving down. The Void Prism, really nice setup, and there comes the Apocalypse, but that did go well. Apocalypse not really timed properly, and down goes Diablo. They get him, and they're going straight for Sefkaje, but he jumps away, gets away with a blink. Kuni-chan on the other hand is dropping low, so is Black Scorp. He dashes away on his Illidan in the last second. They didn't lose really anybody here just yet, but Vortex is eating a lot of damage. The Cleave comes in as Sefkaje jumps into the fray. Level 12 hitting any second right now for the Spanish team, but they try to go for Falcon and they drop him. Falcon is down. They get the kill against him. A lot of damage on that 4 in the mid lane already, as we have Vala to the top jumping back now to get the additional mana. They had to deal with the camp somehow, and TeamLiquid, it's 2 kills against 2.75. That Apocalypse really didn't hit as well as they wanted it to use, because the Void Prison was not released in time. They kind of screwed up the timing just a little bit. Vortex at the bottom lane now, trying to get the additional seeds, and up to the top we are seeing the Russians getting into position once more. But with the far side used on Rhaegar, they know exactly where they are positioned. The heroic abilities, of course, for the Russian team with Tranquility, Void Prison. For Vala, we have Rain of Vengeance, Apocalypse on Diablo, and the Water Elemental on the side of Jaina. Down to the bottom lane, again, seeds taken. And this time it is the Russian team that gets the plant first. But we're also going to see a plant on the side of TeamLiquid. So it's going to be that plant versus plant battle that we oftentimes have in this game on this particular map. And another thing that you shouldn't underestimate here is the power of the 13 talent that will come into play much, much faster for the Spanish team. TeamLiquid is going to get the talent in just a bit, and they're tanking camps. And those camps will force the hand of the plant that we are seeing moving in from the right side right now. So that Unstable can use those pots to just de-push the lanes, and he will have to do that. They take the Siege Giant camp now too. Down to the bottom lane, Vortex is soaking some experience, and that gave them level 13 already. With Feral Lunge taken, we have also the Evasion talent on level 13. Insolence is a virtue, or Impatience is a virtue, well, a little bit insolent maybe. Imposing Will and Giant Killer. Those are the talents that we're seeing on 13 for the Spanish team, and they are starting to rotate with the plant. Also, Illidan is jumping in. Black Scope, of course, on the melee assassin. Who else? The Russians, on the other hand. Sevka, Janilendi, Stork, trying to get in position. Here comes already the, Polymorph Seed, hitting Diablo, but the 13 talent is ready for the Russians now with a Frost Shot, with also Life Seed taken, and we're having them with the improved Ice Block on Jaina, as well as Relentless on Diablo. And they're trying to fight that battle right now. Both of them dancing around each other, and that is where Falcon's ultimate really comes into play, where he can start to do a whole lot of damage with the poking. Andy Lendi is trying to do a very similar thing with his Blizzard, but of course the cooldown is much, much higher. But we're always seeing just like one napalm shot after another moving in. Stork goes straight into the fight. Apocalypse being used without the Void Prison. They're not going for the setup, and they don't hit it properly, but they isolate Grand Paquette. No heal at this point, but Zeratul is already dead, and at the same time the Lost Vikings coming into play right now, dishing out the damage against Unstable and Stork. Kunichan is trying to heal them as much as he can, but Andy Lendi, with a Polymorph Seed, is suddenly an adorable small plant. Unstable low already on the plant for the Russians, and they are being chased. Stork is trying to get away here, but it does not look like he will. Nope, Diablo dies, but he's going to be back in another 2 seconds, and the fort at the bot lane is also annihilated. TeamLiquid is going all out right now. They are trying to get a massive advantage here, and they are looking very, very good in this instance. We're having them with 4 kills against 2.75, but it's the level advantage that really tells the story. 15 to 13, nearly 14, more than a level lead currently for TeamLiquid, and they are going to do quite a lot of work here. As long as the seed over here is not taken, by the way, we will not see another night. So that's one of the... This is actually a very, very interesting thing to note here, because so far nobody bothered to take this seed. Having camps taken all over the map, and the seed count, just to also talk about that, is 26 versus 33 right now. Vortex, is he starting to move in to take it on the map, or will they just leave it there? Black Scorp actually just was moving towards it. Apparently there was a call in voice that he's not supposed to take it. Apparently want to play this without the objectives right now. Just using the mercenaries on the map, not allowing the opponent to come back into this with maybe a plan. 16 is going to be an important talent for them. And by now I'm pretty sure that also Sevkaja and his teammates have realized what exactly is going on here. That the seed is not taken and Diablo is the one who's trying to move in. They're already looking at it. They're trying to go for that and try to capture that, so that, yeah, there's the knight again. And I was actually completely wrong. So completely ignore what I just said. The knight is falling regardless. I don't know why I had that in my mind. That I thought it was like on Haunted Mines, where you have to take the skulls, but over here you don't have to do that. So you can just lay them around. Sorry guys, I'm also a bit affected by all that stuff that's going on in the game right now. So sorry, I apologize for that blunder. And, well, somebody who needs to apologize for being out of position is Andy Lendi, because he just allowed a very easy kill for his opponent's team at this point. Down to the bot lane, we're having Unstable, Sevkaja already there. Ooh, Black Scorp is starting to put pressure on Vala, and Grand Paquette is there. Vala might not make it here. It looks really bad for... Oh, Unstable goes down. 2 heroes killed, just caught on the map. And this is a tricky spot right now. Vortex up to the top lane, meeting Stork here with the Lost Vikings. The 16 talents for them, a triple blood for blood. They are starting to turn that strategy that we're seeing for the Russians so often, starting to turn that around a bit. They're not going for full 4 blood for bloods, for quadruple for blood. Instead, they are at the same time simply just going for 3. Have also on Sergeant Hammer now a stone skin which they can use, and a Norse force on the Vikings, which helps them to keep them alive. The 16 talent is gonna be ready for the Russians in just a few seconds. The problem for them is just that most of the seeds are already gone and they didn't get a plan. even worse than that, their opponents are very close to getting 2 plants in a row. We're having 1 blood for Vala, and that's it. The hardened focus on Malfurion, which makes it heals a bit more effective once that he's on full heal. We're having double bombs as well. Doesn't really need full heal. Being above 80 suffices. We're having also the Firestorm for Diablo and Northern Exposure Jaina, and now they're trying to go for it straight in the mid lane, and they have to do something because they're way too far behind. Oh, here come the Vikings. Need to be careful though. But Diablo is low and he gets jumped. Oh my god, there's the Void Prison, but he is dead. Diablo dying, but so does Tyrael, and Tyrael does not have the option to come back into that battle in another 4 seconds. Oh, but Sevka, Zeratul dies, and so does Vala. Black Scorp mercilessly making his way into the heart of the Russian defense here. Is trying to take down the rest of the heroes too. Doesn't really get that wish granted, but so much pressure on the Russian team now. And of course, one of the Vikings is going to jump into that plant in just a few seconds. Starting to make his way over to the right side. They're trying to just rush in one of those keeps. That's what they have to do right now. That's of course ultimately what really gets you ahead in the game. You want to drop that core, but the first thing to do is to take down these keeps and make sure that your lanes spawn that so important catapult that helps you to push against your opponent's base. Right now, once again, keep in the mid lane, or Ford in the mid lane, already demolished. Black Scorp moving in, 9 kills against 4. And we have TeamLiquid starting to go straight for the heart of it. It's a 5 versus 5 once again though. Those death timers were not long enough to allow TeamLiquid to push with a 4 versus 5. Tyrael is back to business as well, but that plant is doing a lot of work and it's still going to be around for another minute. Lucifron is back with the team. Can use Judgment in a few more seconds. He has only 2 more seconds on Judgment, and there it is. It's back to business, and are they going to try and snipe a hero? Vortex is just rotating between lanes, top lane, mid lane, dropping those plants, trying to just completely demolish those towers, and also they keep trying to take down the hit points as fast as he can. And we have Napalm, just a great tool to poke, and Falcon is already in position here. He has to be careful though. Stork is waiting for an opportunity to jump in and take him on, and they do not have cleanse. They do not have cleanse to help him with this. Once again, Grandpa Kette is trying to stay in the back here, trying to just make sure that he has everything ready. So if one of the heroes is getting jumped, he can use that ancestral healing to keep them alive. Vortex moving in once more, goes for another polymorph. See, Jaina is currently polymorph, needs to be super careful there. Here comes again the Blizzard, but they didn't kill anything just yet. Only a bit of pressure at the wall to the top. We have down to the bot lane on the other hand, Vortex the entire time soaking up experience, and there's a level 20 talent. They get it so fast. There it is, Ragnar rock and roll, and that's a great talent when you want to do massive damage with a longbow. And we have Hardened Shield on Tyrael, which makes him nearly unkillable, as well as the demonic form on Illidan. And this time, even without the plant, they're trying to go for it. They say this is it, now or never. We are 2 levels ahead. We have the level 20 talent. We can defeat them. We can defeat them right now. Kunichan is already low. Sefkaja jumping in. Stork is there. Here comes the healing ward. Black Scorp needs to be careful. Where is Grandpa Kette? Healing him again. And first aid already used. But of course the keep by now is gone. Falcon the entire time doing his thing, using the napalm, and you can really tell looking at the siege damage, 110. Like, Illidan alone has 105 siege damage at this point, and they're going again for those mercenaries on the map, and of course it's quite tricky for the Russian team to move out onto the map now. They know that they are behind in talents, and if they lose a fight now, it might be the end of them, but they need to take seats, they need to take a plant, and they know that. The double bombs on Zeratul already being used. Vortex is all the way up at the front. Kunichan is with the rest of the team now once again, and we have Grandpa Kette moving in up from the top. The initiation against Sevka. Diablo with the apocalypse, but he's about to die, isn't he? Yes, Diablo is down, and here comes the longboat. Oh, Sergeant Hammer's dead as well, but Vala and Malfurion, they die instantly, and Andy Landy doesn't stand a chance, left alone by everybody in the team. Well, nobody's alive any longer. If you disregard Sevka for a second, he had to blink back, he had no other chance. Diablo, of course, is back now thanks to his trade, but at this point, this is just brutal. Once again, we have the Spanish team moving in. TeamLiquid, they want to end it right now. 13 kills against 5, level 21 against 19. They go straight for the core. Apocalypse is down, no delaying there, and 3 of the heroes are dead. They're trying to use the Void Prison to buy themselves a few precious seconds, but this is only delaying the inevitable. This is going to be the lead for the Spanish team. TeamLiquid kicks game number 1 on Garden of Terror here in the final of the Zotic Cup against Team Arthas.
TeamLiquid rocking the Lost Vikings and taking the game. Arthas really didn't seem prepared for that. They were for a long time looking like they could maybe overcome TeamLiquid, but TeamLiquid just a bit too strong, especially of course in that mid game, gathering the experience advantage. Lost Vikings helping with that, taking very good battles there. Great fights, keeping their heroes alive, making sure that they took down the Russian team one by one, and now they are in the lead in the best of 3 series. The 1-0 in the series, and this is going to become very tricky now of course for Arthas. They need to win 2 in a row now if they want to take first place. But TeamLiquid has already shown in the last game that they are determined to take Arthas down, and they want to do it of course without even dropping a map. The next map coming up right now, and once again we see TeamLiquid with the Lost Vikings. Eric, Olaf and Belog, they are trying to just get that experience for TeamLiquid again. Vortex is a great Vikings player. He has shown that to us on the last map. On map number 2 we're going to find out if he can do it again with the rest of his team here. Can they take down Team Arthas with a 2-0, or are the Russians going to come back with this map in the best of 3 series?
Alright boys, welcome back to the best of 3 series. We are having Arthas going up against TeamLiquid. And in this game, the second game of the best of 3 series, yet the Zotac final, we are seeing to the left side in blue Team Arthas, the Russians with Stark on Tyrael, Sefkaja on Rega, Andilendi on Jaina, Unstable on Falset, and Kunichan on Tassadar. To the right side of the map it is the Spanish team with Vortex on the Lost Vikings, Black Scorp on Zeratul, Lucifron on Muradin. We have Goran Paquete playing with Uther, and Falcon on Vala. Currently we're seeing the Russian team down 1 game in the series. It is the lead for Team Liquid. Well, we're hanging to the right side here, and the 5-man rotation into the mid lane for the Russians now as well. Both of the teams going up against each other here with a 5-man. Oh, Goran Paquete eating a lot of damage. It's actually funny these days to see Sefkaja so often on Rega, because, well, he was one of my favorite Vala players in the good old times. He's actually like a very good range assassin. He's also one of the few players that still plays Nova, and sometimes even in competitive play. But his Vala back then was absolutely unrivaled. It was insane how good he was on that hero, and he was leading the charts like everywhere. So an extremely good player. And I mean, at this point right now, we're having him a lot on Rega, is using that support to help his team out here. Down to the bottom of the map currently, we're seeing a 4-man rotation just from the mid lane to the bot lane, mid lane, bot lane. It's that usual 8-second move that you have. And up to the top, Lucifron apparently with Black Scorp together trying to take down Kunichan. The setups that we have for both of those teams are very aggressive once again. Oracle already uses, Kunichan moves back, but he still eats that Stormbolt. This is of course still a bit of a grudge match for them. Stormbolt build on the side of Muradin in this case, not going for that reverberation build that we see, especially against 11 comps. We're having as level 1 talents nothing too far out of the ordinary. One of the things that I still want to highlight is that on Black Scorp, probably the best Zeratul player that we have in Europe, we have a rapid displacement, the cooldown reduction on level 1 for his blink. We see all kinds of talents here. Sometimes we see block taken as a talent. We even see Regeneration Master on a couple of players, especially Gamers 2 is using that talent quite a bit. But right now, there is a potential to get a Dragon Knight for the Russian team. They have both of the shrines. They're pushing the mid lane back. Unstable barrels forward. But Black Scorp is already on the way, and he's starting to get his damage in now, of course, as well. Down to the bottom lane, we're having Falcon going up against Sefkaja here. Up to the top, the Lost Vikings already took 1. And in the mid lane, Jaina already died. Another stun against Unstable to force him back. The first kill, therefore, for the Spanish team. And we're seeing them with level 4 talent taken a bit faster. And an attempt to get the Dragon Knight right now. Oh, and no, they don't get it. Now, oh, they might. They actually might. There it is! They get it! Unstable a bit too late. Not sure if it was a cooldown issue here for him, or if he just was a bit too late and thought he had more time. Whatever the reason, he on his Falstad with a Flow Rider talent taken on level 4 once again. The standard for him. We're seeing him lose the Dragon Knight to Lucifron, who took that. Up to the top lane now. Again, the Lost Vikings starting to jump in against Kunichan, going for the spins. At the bottom lane, the 3-man rotation with Goran Paquete, Falcon, and Black Scorp. Only Sefkaja stands in their way and the towers and tries to push them away here. A level 4 Thunderburn taken on the side of Muradin, so we these days see more of a focus against the Thunderclap talent, and not only the right click, but of course the Stormbolt build that was so popular for a long time, and the only go-to build that he had on the hero. Once again, amplified healing taken, but this time it is on the side of the Russian team. They play him as a soul healer, but Rega goes down, but the kill against Grandpa Kette. It's a kill for a kill as Unstable flew in from the mid lane. Missing out, of course, on this wave right now. Well, or at least potentially he could, but Lucifron is making his way over. Andilendi is on the way, missing out on a couple of those minions, but not on too many. But it's nearly a level lead for the Spanish team. Level 7 for them, and Muradin is going for battle momentum, which is starting to become, I want to say, a bit of a standard on Muradin. Usually it was really the piercing bolt where you can hit 2 of the targets, but now it's really battle momentum that comes into play quite a lot. We're having jump, of course, on Vortex for his Lost Vikings, which will make it much easier for him to keep them alive. And down to the bot lane, Black Scorp is trying to apply pressure to Stork. Lucifron sees the 3-man attempt to take the Siege Giant camp, but we're having to the right side the same happening for the Spanish team. They take their easy camp as well as up to the top lane, Kunichan with a nice prediction storm, hitting all 3 Vikings here. The level 7 talent is now also ready for the Russian team, and Arthas is running it with battle momentum on Tyrael, with a shield on Rega, of course. And Rega is just a great hero on this map in particular, since he can take so many of these camps on his own if he just gets a bit of time. So we're gonna see how it works out for him in that way. Up to the right side, we're having the hard camp, the bruiser camp, taken by Black Scorp and Lucifron. And this is really just some fun action that we're seeing now. But still a slight lead in experience for the Spaniards. They're doing their thing here. But in general, you can really tell that the experience is still very much the same. It's just that one kill that we saw for TeamLiquid that makes the difference, and a few additional waves that they were able to soak. Which is always awesome if you can do that, but one fight can just turn things around again. But the goal is, of course, always to hit those talent levels, 10, 13, 16 and 20, a bit faster than your opponent, and then exploit the timing window that you have there, where you can run with that advantage. To the bottom lane, Black Scorp, Lucifron and Falcon are going for it, and Black Scorp on Zeratul is just such a monster that for the longest time against TeamLiquid, everybody just would ban out Zeratul because they didn't want to deal with it. But since then, Black Scorp, or Zeratul in general, has fallen off a bit. Andilendi, on the other hand, is eating a lot of damage. Apparently didn't see that shimmer in the air. Could die here. Andilendi dies. He never saw Black Scorp coming, apparently. And now Jaina is down, and the 4-man rotation in the mid lane is starting to take that wall away. Very surprising to me. Andilendi must have been occupied with something else on the map, because it was quite obvious that Zeratul was walking towards Jaina. For some reason, he didn't see it. He must have looked somewhere else. And in that case, it was just way too easy for Black Scorp to get the damage in. And now to the top lane against Stork. They're trying to do it again, but they don't get it just yet. Vortex catches the shrine, and now Grandpa Kette is in the mid lane, and he is going for another Dragon Knight. Stork is still really low, and they're going for him immediately. Oh, he gets punted to death. The death kick in the face. And this is kill number 4 for the Spanish team. They have level 11 now. We're seeing the longbow, Void Prism. We have Strafe used on Swanbala. It is Avatar and Divine Shield on Uther. As on the other side, the Russian team is running this with Water Elemental, the Hinterland Blast. We're having, of course, now with level 7 also Static Charge for the extra damage on Tassadar next to the Archon that he now chose as his heroic ability, and the Ancestral Healing for Rega. They're moving in once again, and at this point in time, they're having still the Vikings at the top lane, all 3 of them. Down to the bottom, it is Falcon starting to apply some damage to that structure. Sefkaje is getting cut off, needs to heal himself, but he dies before he can do anything. But the counter kill happening thanks to the burst. Unstable and Andilendi with so much burst damage, and this initiation was just crazy. But a very good Void Prism, at least for now, saving those heroes. Grandpa Kette moving back, but you could really see the danger that comes from the combination with Tyrael just jumping in, and then Jaina, and also with Hinterland Blast, Falstad do their burst damage and take down a target within seconds. It's very reminiscent to the composition that you had back in the days when Tyrael together with Falstad would use Avala for the extra damage thanks to the precision strike. In this game they didn't really have to do that right now, so they used Jaina for the same thought process here. 5 kills against 2.25. Unstable at the top lane, dealing with the Vikings. Kunichan is moving back. Oh, Unstable. He's actually TPing back. He's not helping out anybody right now. Or I should say Tassadar. Unstable is the one in trouble. But yeah, still the level lead, and that means another talent coming into play right now. Impatience is a virtue. Wormhole. We're seeing the Thunderclap talent. Thunder Strike. There's also the Frost shot on Vala, and I guess Uther, what is he gonna go for? Is it gonna be the Shrink Ray, or is he going for something else? Usually the Shrink Ray is taken up at the top, one of the Vikings already dead, and to the bottom lane it is the pressure against their fort where we already have a Siege Giant Camp starting to apply the damage. And apparently Uther wants to make sure that that burst is not going to take him down here, goes for the spell shield, a nice variation, trying to counteract what we are seeing from the Russian team, from the massive burst that comes from Judgment, Blizzard, and of course also the Hinterland Blast that we see there. Unstable, moving back at the top, and now that the shrines are activating again on the map, this is where both of the teams are gonna angle for another Dragon Knight, and it just happens exactly at the perfect timing for the Russian team, since they just got access to the level 13 talent, which means that we are seeing Giant Killer on Falstad. He could go for Nexus Frenzy on level 20, which he oftentimes does, but we have him also with the additional flight ability on level 20, which is pretty crazy at times. Right now we're seeing Imposing Will on the side of Tyrael. Interesting also because usually when they play either with an Uberak or with Tyrael or with both, which they oftentimes do, we see them with Burning Rage, but not so this time. Also the Healing Talon on the side of Rhaegar over the Feral Lunge. Sorry, Feral Lunge of course coming in a little bit later at that. Healing Talon taken over a potential... No, Feral Lunge. No, I'm confused. No, Feral Lunge is the 16 and yeah. No, the Healing Talon taken over something else. Whatever. Is it Feral Lunge? I'm getting crazy here. Yeah, it is Feral Lunge. Of course it's Feral Lunge. Feral Lunge is 13 and 16 is Blood for Blood and the Earth Totem. Sorry boys, like today sometimes I have a bit of a blackout there. I had one in the last game and this is no exception. So yeah, no Feral Lunge but the healing part taken. We're having now at the same time once again the Russians rotating over as well as the Spaniards. Oh, Vortex getting really low on one of these bad boys. But they just sacrificed their fort. And now, if you just look at what's going on the map, we're still having that level elite, but not really a whole lot of big fights. And so far, the kills are also not too far away. Just 2.5. The gap is not really all too big. You can really close that out. Lucifron at the top lane is currently just going straight for that. Kuni-chan is still there. And another Dragon Knight attempt in the mid lane. They can't go for it. At the bottom lane, we have Sefkaja taking the Shrine, moving away right now. Up to the top. Oh, there we have Kuni-chan jumping in. And Distortion Beam on Tassadite. This is actually a talent that is becoming more and more popular. I've seen that in several plays right now, not only by the Russian team, but also by a few other teams like Alternate, for example. They were trying to go for a bit of a different Diablo build. Right now, we're having the next move by the Spanish team, trying to catch the Dragon Knight, but the trap by Stork and Andilendi, they're trying to go for that burst again. Where's Falstad? Falstad is too far away to really... Oh, and missed his barrel roll. Barrels into the edge. So right now he can't use anything. There they are, they go for Kuni-chan, they move straight in. Kuni-chan is getting low! Kuni-chan! Avoid Prism is there! But Black Skull blinks away and now they're trying to drop Kuni-chan and they do it instantly. No chance for him to escape. Falcon on the other hand gets sniped as well, trying to supply the damage. Went too deep, but they go for Sefkaja. Oh, great Hinterland Blast, but it's not good enough to kill anybody. And now it's a 3-for-1. Only Vala dying. Very, very well done here. And we're having them once again, of course, now taking the lead in experience and also the extra talent with the Norse Force, double bombs, imposing presence, benediction, and blood for blood taken. Another Dragon Knight in the hands of TeamLiquid, and they are starting to really threaten those keeps. 2 of the forts are already down, and the third one will fall now as well. They are going straight for it again, and there they are, moving straight in. And this is all, of course, trouble brewing since we have another fort at the top down. We have Vortex and Gran Paqueta starting to move in towards that wall, and with Falstad just now coming back, this is, of course, definitely a problem that they are facing here. Not an easy game, not at all, and very curious to see if the Russians are able to jump back to somehow bounce back and win one of those fights. They are on the same talent. They have a double blood for blood, they have Northern Exposure, they also have the Hammer Time talent here on Falstad, and we're having them with a second strike. So a lot of damage came in now on the last talent, and that helps them. Vortex uses jump, needs to move back here with his Lost Vikings, and they're punting one of their opponents away, but it's 8 kills against 3 still. So they're moving back once more. They have all of their forts already taken out. They only lost 1, but they have still not killed a keeper. They can try to go for level 20 now, but it's still 2 levels away. 4, of course, for their opponent's team. a 2-level advantage nearly, but it's the same talents, and that's what really counts in Heroes of the Storm. They're going for Cody-chan, oh my god! They annihilate Cody-chan, and they keep Blackstorm alive with a Divine Shield. Here comes the strafe, down goes Rhaegar. Stork is extremely low, Unstable is about to die. They kill Tyrael, and this is nearly a team kill. Only Andy Lendy surviving, and TeamLiquid is moving in and blasts everybody away in their path. They're going straight for the keep. They might try to core it here. They might actually try to core it. Only one hero alive. 15 seconds on Tacita. Can they really end the game at this point? They're gonna try. They're definitely gonna try. Andy Lendy with the damage, and it looks like they will be able to drop that core, aren't they? The shield on Tacita could help for a little bit longer, but no, with all those heroes still doing damage, this is gonna be game. TeamLiquid takes down the Russian team with a 2-0, not dropping a single map to them here at the Zotac Cup final. Congratulations to TeamLiquid.
TeamLiquid, they take it. A 2-0 against the Russian team here. Dragonshire and Garden of Terror. Both maps end up in favor of TeamLiquid. So they take down the Russian team with a 2-0. The Spaniards just too strong here. And as I said, there was a lot of aggression before the game. There were a lot of problems. And this is, of course, at least for the Spanish team here, very satisfying. Arthas, on the other hand, I don't think that they're going to care too much here. They lost in the final. They come still in second place. They played a great tournament, took down very, very strong opponents. But I'm pretty sure that we are going to see those teams going up against each other in the future again. And this is going to be super interesting. For now, it looks like TeamLiquid has found a great way to deal with the combinations, the compositions that Team Arthas has been using for a long time right now. Their drafts were great and always gave them an advantage. And Arthas, they will have to adjust a bit, especially when it comes to playing in the ESL Major League, where teams can prepare for them in advance. And a lot of teams will look at this series and try to find out how to take down the Russians. TeamLiquid has been able to do that. They win the Zotac Cup, so congratulations to them. A 2-0 victory in the finals against Team Arthas. And guys, if you enjoyed this game as well, if you really liked how TeamLiquid started to draft the lineup, if you liked how they executed their compositions here, then give the video a thumbs up if you want to see more like that. Of course, if you have questions, comments, anything, drop a comment in the comment section. And I'm going to see you soon for more Heroes of the Storm on the channel here on Khaldor TV. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't done it yet. I'm going to see you soon. Bye-bye.